What's up everyone, it's Karthik with MoneyVest. We're back in the middle of Wall Street's games as the back and forth continues, as NVIDIA dropping over 5% on the back of some very strong and good earnings. But nonetheless, the Nasdaq here once again seeing a rotation out over from technology, from growth, from AI names, back over to the Dow Jones, back over to small caps, and some of the other more defensive sectors like financials, energy, and real estate all pushing higher, with majority of the market selling off, as S&P 500 was down about 0.5% and the Nasdaq was down over 1% on the day. So was my portfolio, down a little bit over $17,000. The total gain has dropped back to just over $400,000 on the day. And Block also soaring 24%. And this is the unfortunate part about the entire market, as they are laying off more than 40% or close to 50% of their workforce, and the stock is up 24%. So this right here is exactly what Jack Dorsey says, and I quote, "Today we share a difficult decision with our team." Block's co-founder and CEO wrote in a letter to shareholders, "We're reducing Block by nearly half, from over 10,000 people to just under 6,000, which means that over 4,000 people are being asked to leave or enter into consultation." And this was CFO Amrita Ahuja says, and I quote, "We are choosing to shift how we operate at a time when our business is accelerating, and we see an opportunity to move faster with a smaller, highly talented teams using AI to automate more work." And Jack Dorsey also says, and I quote, "Within the next year, I believe the majority of companies will reach the same conclusion and make similar structural changes. I'd rather get there honestly and on our own terms than be forced into reactively." So that's huge. I mean, this is a big tell sign that what is to come. And as I mentioned before, if this trend were to continue, we might get into an environment where the unemployment rate is high, as well as economic growth that continues to be very strong on the back of some very integrated AI systems that replace the middle managers or the fresh graduates or interns or new people coming into the workforce get replaced by AI, but at the same time, economic growth continues to be strong. So this, again, is a clear example right in front of us of a big company doing this, and by cutting more than half of the jobs in their entire team, and essentially telling us that they're going to be using AI to automate more work moving forward. So that's that. NVIDIA blowout earnings report disappoints Wall Street. The stock sinks 5%. And before we get further into the video, make sure that you drop a like. The last 2 days of our 40% annual discount. After that, it does expire. So I will be releasing my shopping list for stocks, as well as potentially integrating our ETF shopping list as well on the platform. So that is also going to be available on our MoneyVest platform starting next week. So we're very excited to launch and upgrade the new shopping list here for both stocks and for ETFs as well. So again, if you want to get access to all of that, including all the trade alerts on Discord, members only videos, plenty of videos to watch, PDF spreadsheets, everything you can download, link's going to be down below. And that 2 days left for that 40% annual discount available. And after that, it does expire. So link's going to be down below. Any questions, email me at admin@moneyvest.com. And NVIDIA dropping, US and Iran wrapping up the most intense nuclear talks with no deal. And again, there's still going to be more further negotiations and further progress being made. The next time they're going to talk is going to be in Vienna. The Geneva talks were very intense, and the two sides did make significant progress in high stakes talks, but there are still a lot of things to discuss. Critical issues including termination of US sanctions on Iran and nuclear related steps as well. So first of all, coming back over to the MoneyVest index, this right here is where we're trading at over 3.61, still in optimism. The Nasdaq 100 dropping back down to 3.28. We were trading up to 3.33. This is what the market snapshot looks like. Once again, liquidity flooding out of semiconductors, out of technology, out of comm services, cyclicals, healthcare, moving over to financial services. Energy was higher, and real estate also moving up. Market concentration, over $330 billion worth of outflows. And then the VIX dashboard, VIX was actually pushing back up over 3.7%. It was much higher during the day. It was getting up to over 20 as volatility continues to stay elevated. That's the big issue, that VIX is not giving us a very clear direction. In fact, it is moving back and forth here, and it is very elevated at the same time, trading at over 55, 56 percentile at the moment. Markets for the month of February are back red. They were slightly green, and we are now back down and as we go into the final day of 2026 February, as we go into the final trading a day for the month, right? So if the markets don't push higher, then we're going to see a red February. And in terms of earnings, we are pretty much wrapped up. There's still going to be a few very big companies reporting next week. So Broadcom is one of them. CrowdStrike is another. C Limited is going to be reporting as well. Viva Systems is going to be for next week. We got Target, we got AutoZone, MongoDB, we got Costco. So it's going to be a bit more of a retail / technology, cybersecurity, and again, some semiconductor stocks reporting next week. But all in all, we are essentially wrapping up the earnings season. And don't forget, next week also has the unemployment numbers coming out, since it's the first Friday of the month of March. So that's that. And then coming back over to the markets, S&P 500 here, once again pulling back as we continue to trade in this range, consolidate. We are very, very range bound. There's a lack of decision. There is no direction for this market right now, instead going sideways. And every single day has been like green, red, and we've just been trading in that range. So resistance stays put at 7,000. Got a very strong support at 6,770, 6,700 for the S&P 500. Coming over to the NASDAQ, once again getting rejected here at this resistance. And right now we're pulling right back down closer to 22,170. So that is the lower high and the lower low pattern for the NASDAQ. So that's the downtrend. And again, overall, just been very much consolidating sideways, with that being the next support for the NASDAQ. Coming over to Apple, and before we get there, again, Ethereum hovering around $2,000, $2,100, so getting up to $2,100, then getting rejected back down. Support level is going to stay put at $1,890, closer to $1,900. And Bitcoin here also consolidating sideways with a resistance all the way up to $70,000, $71,000, and a very strong support at $65,000 for Bitcoin as well. Crude oil sitting roughly around $65 a barrel as these conversations between the US and Iran continue to stall, and market breadth has improved as more and more stocks are trading back above their moving averages at the expense of technology and growth. So coming back over to Apple here, resistance is going to stay up at $280, so that is the resistance. Support level is going to stay up at $265 for Apple. And again, we're seeing a lot of consolidation, lack of direction. Apple is trading at the same price as it was going back as far as October of last year. So again, it has been 5-6 months that a lot of these companies, a lot of these stocks are trading sideways. If I basically remove everything and I just show you the weekly chart, that's all we're going to do. The weekly time frame is what we're going to analyze today. Resistance all the way up to 290, support all the way down to 240. That's the range within which Apple's been trading. So this is basically the range over the last 6 months. Coming over to Amazon, same thing. I'm going to remove all of this, and all we're going to put down is a resistance at 245, 250, down support at around 190 to as much as 200. And Amazon's been trading at the same level since, again, October of last year. So this is the 6 months worth of consolidation. Yes, we have seen some pretty significant sell-offs, some nice little pops, but all in all, trading right in that range. Tesla, on the other hand, same exact thing. So this is basically the range within which it's been trading. 497, close to $500 is going to be that resistance. Support level is going to stay roughly at around 380, 390, so sub 400. And Tesla is at the same price as it was back in December of 2024. So it's not only just been 6 months, it's been well over a year. But if you compare this to where we were literally in September 25, it's been 6-7 months that Tesla has been trading sideways, and there's a lack of direction, lack of volume from Tesla as well. NVDA, same exact thing, a lot of consolidation. I mean, support level is going to stay up at 164. We've got a big resistance at 195. We did pop up to over 210, 211 briefly, but overall it's been trading sideways. You can see every single week, green, red, and this is literally the same price from back in July of 2025. So it's been 9 months that NVIDIA has been trading sideways in that range. Advanced Micro Devices, same exact thing here. So what we're seeing is nothing but an area of consolidation sideways here. Support, resistance up to 267, support level at 190, and it's been trading at these levels since, again, you guessed it, October of last year. So once again, we're seeing those levels from AMD. Coming over to Broadcom, and Broadcom also very much consolidating sideways. There's no surprises here. Support level is going to stay put right here. Resistance all the way up to $405, $413. Support level at 315, and trading all the way since September of last year. Meta Platforms is also in this area of consolidation. Support level is going to be at 590 with a resistance all the way up here, and that's going to stay roughly at 745. Meta's at the same level as it was going back as far as May 2025, even further back January of 2025, so it's been well over a year that Meta's trading at the same price, and this is the area of consolidation that we're witnessing for Meta platforms. The support level is going to stay at 590, resistance all the way up to 740 for Meta. Coming over to Netflix. Now, Netflix is one that is not consolidating. It's actually been on a very strong downtrend. It's trading at the same level as it was back in March of 2025, but overall it has gone up, and then it has been on this significant downtrend, and it's now trading just a tad under my call strike at $85. And so support level is going to stay roughly at 74.85, 75, and this right here is going to be that support now at $82 per share. It's seeing some very nice momentum as it has withdrew from the Warner Brother studio bid as Paramount offer is superior. So that's one of the reasons why Netflix is also moving higher. Resistance all the way back up to $93, $94 for Netflix moving forward. Google, same story, consolidating sideways, support level very strong around 295, 300 with a resistance that stays put at 345, 348, and it's trading at the same level as it was back in November of last year. So again, a lot of consolidation sideways. It also does start to feel a little bit of a head and shoulders, so we'll see if it actually breaks below this neckline or if it stays above it. And finally, coming over to Microsoft and Palantir. Microsoft has not been consolidating, very similar to Netflix. It has actually been selling off aggressively. Support level is going to stay put at $380, starting to move back higher with a resistance all the way up to 444, 445 for Microsoft. And finally, we come over to Palantir. Also has not been consolidating all that much. I mean, it was pretty much trading in this range for a long time before finally breaking down. I did add a little bit of Palantir today, so the plan is to continue to add more to get up to about 100 shares and then start selling some calls on Palantir, but resistance is going to stay put at 142, 143 for Palantir with a very strong support down at 125, 126 for this company. So hope you all enjoy this video and a complete update on this market as it continues to lack direction. There's a lot of indecision and there is a lot of consolidation in this market as well. These are market cycles that we will witness and go through many times over. This is not the first time. This is not the last time either. Again, link's going to be down below if you're interested in joining with our 40% annual discount available for 2 more days. Any questions, email me at admin@moneyvest.com. And as always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.